Poems, Series 1, by Emily Dickinson. Part 1, Life. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Part 1, Life. 1. Success. Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag to-day can tell the definition so clear of victory as he, defeated, dying, on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph break, agonized and clear. 2. Our share of night to bear, our share of morning, our blank in bliss to fill, our blank in scorning. Here a star and there a star, some lose their way, here a mist and there a mist, afterwards, day. 3. Rouge et Noir. Soul, wilt thou toss again? By just such a hazard hundreds have lost, indeed, but tens have won and all. Angels' breathless ballot lingers to record thee, imps in eager caucus raffle for my soul. 4. Rouge Gagne. 'Tis so much joy, 'tis so much joy, if I should fail, what poverty! And yet, as poor as I, have ventured all upon a throw, have gained, yes, hesitated so, this side the victory. Life is but life, and death but death, bliss is but bliss, and breath but breath. And if, indeed, I fail, at least to know the worst is sweet. Defeat means nothing but defeat. No drearier can prevail. And if I gain, oh, gunnet see! Oh, bells that in the steeples be, at first repeat it slow, for heaven is a different thing, conjectured and waked sudden in, and might o'erwhelm me so. 5. Glee. The great storm is over. 4 have recovered the land, 40 gone down together into the boiling sand. Ring for the scant salvation, toll for the bonny souls, neighbor and friend and bridegroom spinning upon the shoals. How they will tell the shipwreck when winter shakes the door, till the children ask, "But the 40, did they come back no more?" Then a silence suffuses the story, and a softness the teller's eye, and the children no further question, and only the waves reply. 6. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life from aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. 7. Almost. Within my reach, I could have touched, I might have chanced that way, soft sauntered through the village, sauntered as soft away. So unsuspecting violets within the fields lie low, too late for striving fingers that passed an hour ago. 8. A wounded deer leaps highest, I've heard the hunter tell. 'Tis but the ecstasy of death, and then the break is still. The smitten rock that gushes, the trampled steel that springs, a cheek is always redder, just where the hectic stings. Mirth is the mail of anguish, in which it cautions arm, lest anybody spy the blood, and "You're hurt!" exclaim. 9. The heart asks pleasure first, and then excuse from pain, and then those little anodynes that deaden suffering, and then to go to sleep, and then, if it should be, the will of its inquisitor, the liberty to die. 10. In a library. A precious, mouldering place 'tis, to meet an antique book, in just the dress his century wore, a privilege, I think. His venerable hand to take, And warming in our own, a passage back or two to make, to times when he was young, His quaint opinions to inspect, His knowledge to unfold, And what concerns our mutual mind, the literature of old. What interested scholars most? What competitions ran When Plato was a certainty, And Sophocles a man? When Sappho was a living girl, And Beatrice wore the gown that Dante defied, facts centuries before. He traverses familiar, as one should come to town, And tell you all your dreams were true. He lived where dreams were sown. His presence is enchantment. You beg him not to go. Old volumes shake their vellum heads And tantalize, just so. 11. Much madness is divinest sense To a discerning eye. Much sense is the starkest madness. 'Tis the majority in this, as all prevails. Assent, and you are sane. Demur, you're straightway dangerous, And handled with a chain. 12. I asked no other thing, No other was denied. I offered being for it. The mighty merchant smiled. Brazil? He twirled a button, Without a glance my way. But, madam, is there nothing else That we can show to-day? 13. Exclusion. The soul selects her own society, Then shuts the door On her divine majority. Obtrude no more. Unmoved, she notes the chariots pausing At her low gate. Unmoved, an emperor is kneeling Upon her mat. I have known her from an ample nation. Choose one, then close the valves of her attention Like stone. 14. The secret. Some things that fly there be, Birds, ours, the bumblebee, Of those no elegy. Some things that stay there be, Grief, hills, eternity. Nor this behooveth me. There are, that resting rise. Can I expound the skies? How still the riddle lies! 15. The lonely house. I know some lonely houses off the road A Robert liked the look of, wooden barred, and windows hanging low, Inviting two. A portico, where two would creep, One hand the tools, the other peep, To make sure all's asleep. Old-fashioned eyes, not easy to surprise. How orderly the kitchens look by night, With just a clock. But they could gag the tick, And mice won't bark, and so the walls don't tell. None will. A pair of spectacles ajar Just stir, and almanacs aware. Was it the mat winked, or nervous star? The moon slides down the stair To see who's there. There's plunder. Where? Tankard or spoon, earring or stone, a watch, some ancient brooch To match the grandmamma, stayed sleeping there. Day rattles too, stealth slow. The sun has got as far As the third sycamore. Screams chanticleer, "Who's there?" And echoes trains away, sneer, "Where?" While the old couple, just astir, Fancy the sunrise left the door ajar. 16. To fight aloud is very brave, But gallanter I know, Who charge within the bosom The cavalry of woe, Who win and nations do not see, Who fall and none observe, Whose dying eyes no country Regards with patriot love. We trust in plumed procession, For such the angels go, Rank after rank, with even feet And uniforms of snow. 17. Dawn. When night is almost done, And sunrise grows so near That we can touch the spaces, it's time to smooth the hair, And get the dimples ready, And wonder we could care For that old faded midnight That frightened but an hour. 18. The Book of Martyrs. Read, sweet, how others strove Till we are stouter, what they renounced till we are less afraid. How many times they bore the faithful witness till we are helped, as if a kingdom cared. Read then a faith that shone above the fagot, clear strains of hymn the river could not drown, brave names of men and celestial women passed out of record into renown. 19. The mystery of pain. Pain has an element of blank. It cannot recollect when it began, or if there were a day when it was not. It has no future but itself. Its infinite realms contain its past, enlightened to perceive new periods of pain. 20. I taste a liquor never brewed, from tankards scooped in pearl. Not all the vats upon the Rhine yield such an alcohol. Inebriated of air am I, and debauchee of dew, reeling through endless summer days from inns of molten blue. When landlords turn the drunken bee out of the foxglove's door, when butterflies renounce their drams, I shall but drink the more, till seraphs swing their snowy hats, and saints to windows run. I see the little tripler lean against the sun. 21. A book. He ate and drank the precious words, his spirit grew robust. He knew no more that he was poor, nor that his frame was dust. He danced along the dingy days, and this bequest of wings was but a book. What liberty a loosened spirit brings! 22. I had no time to hate, because the grave would hinder me, and life was not so ample I could finish enmity. Nor had I time to love, but since some industry must be, the little toil of love, I thought, was large enough for me. 23. Unreturning. 'Twas such a little, little boat that toddled down the bay. 'Twas such a gallant, gallant sea that beckoned it away. 'Twas such a greedy, greedy wave that licked it from the coast, nor ever guessed the stately sails my little craft was lost. 24. Whether my bark went down at sea, whether she met with gales, whether to isles enchanted she bent her docile sails, by what mystic mooring she is held to-day, this is the errand of the eye out upon the bay. 25. Belshazzar had a letter, he never had but one. Belshazzar's correspondent concluded and begun. In that immortal copy, the conscience of us all can read without its glasses on Revelation's wall. 26. The brain within its groove runs evenly and true, but let a splinter swerve. 'Twas easier for you to put the water back when floods have slit the hills and scooped a turnpike for themselves and blotted out the mills. End of Part 1 of Poems, Series 1, by Emily Dickinson.